Welcome, my dear students, to Unit 10. Welcome to my home. In this unit, we're going to know more about homes in ancient Egypt. We're going to know about made of and made from and the difference between them, and the use of well for predictions with no evidence. Let's start. On page 34 in the student book, we have an important point, which is the use of made of to talk about the material in which something is made of. For example, the table is made of wood. Let's read the page. Discuss. What are the things in the photo made of? Which of the objects have the same name as its material? We have different materials like cotton, glass, leather, metal, plastic, stone, wood, wool. Okay. For example, number 1, the cushion. This is the cushion. Okay. It's made of wool, right? What about this? Number 2, pan. The pan. Yep, it's made of metal, right? And what about this nice cup? Yep, it's made of glass. What about our clothes, t-shirts, shirts, and so on? Yep, it's made of cotton. What about this nice bag? Leather. The wall is made of stone, right? Table and chairs? Wood. Number 8, plastic, right? Okay, so when I talk about the material in which something is made of, I use the word made of. For example, the bag is made of leather. The pan is made of metal. The cushion is made of wool, right? Cushion, a soft object to sit on or rest your head on. Curtain, a hanging screen usually capable of being drawn back or up. Leather, the material from the skins of animals used to make shoes and bags. Wool, a soft material that's made from sheep's or goat's hair. Brick, a hard square object that is used for building walls, houses, etc. Metal, a hard material, for example, gold, silver. On page 35, we have the language part, which is the use of made of. Okay, so we mentioned it before that I use made of to talk about things or the material in which something is made of. Singular, what is it made of? The sofa is made of leather. What are they made of? The cushions are made of. So I use is made of with singular, the sofa, the cushion, the television. And plural, I use are made of. The cushions are made of cotton, for example. Note, what's the difference between made of and made from? Made of, when the actual physical form of the material used does not change during the process of making the subject. Chairs are made of wood. My house is made of bricks. Okay, so when I have a material or I used the material to make something and the material doesn't change, so I used wood to make chairs and chairs are still wood, so I use made of. Bricks, I use bricks to make my house and my house is still made of bricks. So again, made of when the actual physical form of the material used doesn't change during the process of making the subject. What about made from? Made from when the actual physical form of the material does change during the process of making the subject. For example, wine is made from grapes. Paper is made from trees. Okay, so I use trees to make paper. When I hold the paper, can I see it like a tree or a part of the tree? Of course not. So the material changed during the process of making it. So this is the difference between made of and made from. Let's say, for example, what about the cake? When I make a cake, do I use the cake is made of eggs and flour or made from eggs and flour? Yep, made from. Why? Because the final result, the cake, is not the same like eggs and flour. On page 36, let's read it. It's about Deir el-Medina. In ancient Egypt, there was a village called Deir el-Medina. The people from the village worked in the valley for the kings. There were 68 houses. The walls of the houses were made of bricks, and the doors were made of wood. The people painted their houses white with red doors. The houses had a kitchen and a living room, but there weren't any bedrooms. People usually slept on the roof because it was very hot at night. There were usually an oven for bread in kitchen, but there weren't any taps. People got their water from the Nile Valley, about 2 kilometers away. Roof, the top part of a building. This is the roof of a building. Tap, you turn on a tap to get water in the house, garden, etc. Tap. Oven, the equipment used for cooking or baking food. Oven. On page 36, we have the use of will and want for predictions. Let's read it. We use will plus infinitive, the stem verb, the root verb, to make predictions with no evidence about the future. There will be electric cars in the future. There won't be ordinary mobiles. We will go to the moon. We won't use land telephones. Okay. The question here is, do I know that, or am I sure that these things are gonna happen? Of course not. I'm just predicting. So the meaning of prediction is to think that something will happen in the future. Okay, but you don't have an evidence for what are you saying. For example, we'll go to the moon. Are you 100% sure that we're gonna go to the moon? Of course not. So, when I predict something in the future and I don't have an evidence, no evidence, we use will. Choose the correct answer. There will be any ordinary cars in the future. I think we won't live on the moon. It's my dream. Will there be our electric cars in the future? Well for predictions. We can also use well for predictions, but this time there is no present evidence. It's very common to use. I think and I don't think. There is no plan. There is not a plan. We say that we think will happen. For example, I think she will arrive next week. She has no plan. She didn't plan that she will arrive next week. Nothing, just an idea. Just I think she will arrive next week. Maybe they will decide to sell the house after all. So, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't have an evidence. Okay, so they will sell it. So, when I predict something or think that something will happen in the future and I don't have an evidence, I use will. about going to? Will versus going to. So, we said that I use will to talk about or express a prediction based on personal opinions or experience. Prediction without an evidence. I think United will win the game. This is your opinion. You don't have an evidence. But if I have an evidence, I express a prediction based on present evidence with going to. Look at those black clouds. It's going to rain. Now I have an evidence. I think that it will rain. But do I have an evidence? Yes, I have an evidence. What's your evidence? My evidence is black clouds. So, when I look at those black clouds, I think it is going to rain. But if the weather is sunny, no black clouds, the weather is sunny, I say it's going to rain or it will rain. Excellent. I use will rain. Why? Because there is no evidence for that. And also I use will to express future actions decided at the moment of speaking, immediate decisions. For example, the phone is ringing, I'll answer it. I'll have salad and the fish. When I'm in the restaurant, I don't have to make my plan to say that I'm gonna eat something or I'm gonna have a drink, for example. But it's a quick decision, something that I do not plan for it. So I'll have salad and the fish. Going to express future plans, decided before the moment of speaking. Prior plans. I'm going to visit my aunt next Friday. So this is my plan that I'm going to visit her. Let's read it about predictions on page 39, student book. Holidays on the moon, driveless cars. In 2080, you won't go to the beach for your holiday. You will to the moon. Of course, you will go, the infinitive after will. You will go to the moon. There will be or won't be rockets that leave the earth every day. And the journey will take only 12 hours. They will be very fast. So he's predicting everything that will happen in the future, that we will enjoy our holiday on the moon, no beaches, the journey will take just 12 hours, they will be fast. All of these are predictions with no evidence. He has no evidence that says it's for sure that we will go to the moon. Driveless cars. In 2020 and 80, people want to drive a car. We will all have a driveless car. They will be safer and there won't be any or some accident. The students will read a book or watch television when a computer on the car drives them to school. So he's predicting that in the future the car will be driveless. You don't have to drive your car in the future. Just stay, read a book, watch television, and the computer is driving the car. He's doing the job for you. Also, this is a prediction with no evidence. So he used will to express predictions with no evidence. Simple future, structure, subject, will, verb in the infinitive form, complement. Subject, want, verb, complement. Will, subject, verb, complement. Okay, so in affirmative case, I will do my homework. He won't drive a car. Will you drive a car? Time expressions: next year, in 10 years, soon, after finishing school. After finishing school, I'll study an A level in arts. Thank you so much for listening to our unit. Good luck.